Well, the Marathon Alpha is finally here, and I wanted to go ahead and give out my first thoughts and impressions on day one so far. Before I get into that, I just wanted to give a heads up that I am sick right now, so my voice sounds a little bit weird or different, and I mean, that is why. The first thing I really wanted to talk about was the gunplay. It's really good, as expected from a Bungie title. Really no surprises there. The guns feel good to use, and so do the snipers. And I also just wanted to point out, bullet magnetism isn't what makes Bungie shooters feel good. I don't like when I see that comment. That is not why Bungie shooters feel good. You're just bad if you think that. Most weapons I have used in the alpha so far have all felt weighty in the right ways. The snipers feel heavy, and you know they take a bit of ADS time to like aim in at people and take out. The SMGs felt pretty good, but pretty accurate for a small SMG. But maybe my aim was just cracked out. I should probably mention I don't have a magnetism turned on when I play. So assault rifles felt slow to shoot, but damage was still there to make up for it. And then remember too that all these weapons that I've used for day one, most of them were just common weapons without any major attachments applied to them. For the movement, I'm a little confused on the movement feels clunky or weird to me, because I just feel like it feels like any other FPS game, but now you just have to manage your sprint. I think a lot of people just need to realize that sprinting is more of a resource now that you need to keep track of. And I also feel like it makes the fights feel more contained, in a sense that squads just can't rush down your entire team. I feel like this really encourages players to, adapt to the environment and forces teams to think about positioning and, using cover more. I think this is the biggest positive for the overcharge meter. And I don't even think I got third party a single time in my 5 hours of playing today. I legit got like honest 3v3s the entire day, which felt pretty damn good to me. If there's anything I would change about the movement, I think I would really love it if Bungie allowed us to slide down stairs or slopes to carry our momentum, kind of like how Apex Legends does it. I feel like this will increase 3v3 engagements a little bit more, and it just increase the tempo of matches as well. And I also think it adds a little bit more skill expression. Also, like 99% sure that there are items in the game that increase your overcharge meter. So as more players get like better gear and shit, the economy will start to get a little crazier in the middle of the season. And I feel like the way fights and how fast people will travel across the map will probably change drastically. As for the looting, I don't have too much to say about it at the moment, seeing how no one really has like any crazy loot yet. It is only day one after all. But for the basics, you're basically just collecting junk and scrap that will like automatically sell for you after a successful exfil, and resources to upgrade more skills in the faction tree. Obviously, you're collecting weapons and gear as well as you are doing this, but I do love the sound effects of looting. I don't know what it is. I think a lot of it has to probably do with the short cinematic trailer that they showed in the gameplay reveal. I think they actually might just reuse the same sound effect that they used when they were looting in the cinematic. I'm not too sure though. But so far, all the loot's been kind of basic for the most part, besides this one squad I looted. But let me tell you, it hit like crack finally seeing some rare items, especially since this was like 3 hours in already. Holy shit, there's stack. Fuck yeah. But that's pretty much all I have to say about loot right now. But I do want to come back and visit this topic again in the near future. I did want to touch up on the sniping just a little bit. I feel like it's a bit too strong at the moment, because it feels like whenever you're using it, you never really have to commit to anything. Like, you could just kill AIs for free instantly just by like juggle peeking a wall with the sniper and not really ever get hit or have to like put yourself out there and engage with the enemies. And it kind of feels the same way with fighting players too. I think it's because player bodies are pretty easy to spot in this game, and the movement is a little limited in some cases where, let's say for example, you're looting a body bag, right? Forced to be stationary while skimming through items, whereas in Apex Legends you're just able to kind of like move around while doing it. So you're just sitting there and then bam, you're dead. I suck at sniping, I feel, personally, but like I was hitting a lot of my shots most of the time. Sniped his ass. And this was with magnetic aim off, so I just want to throw that out there. But you also need to remember too that most players are gonna have bullet magnetism turned on, so we'll get more to that later, but that's another thing you should always keep in mind as well. For the characters, I was a little disappointed in some of the dialogue. Not a big deal. I've only played Void though, to be fair, but the in terms of like characterization, there really isn't none, at least not yet. I was hoping for some sort of environmental dialogue where your character kind of responds to certain things happening in the environment, kind of like when you're doing a task or something, but so far I haven't like really seen anything like that. The only time they really talk at all is for when you're using an ability, from what I can gather, or like reloading and stuff like that. I'm hoping in the full release though we get more info or backstory on them. And I only say this because I think it's just kind of weird that they opted for actual characters instead of create your own character and not have them fleshed out over the course of your runs, if that makes sense. I would like to believe this is just because it's an alpha and in the full release we will get that, but for now we just kind of, you know, have to sit back, wait and see. Now for the maps, there are only 2 maps in the alpha at the moment, and on full launch I believe we will be having 3, with the 4th map coming soon, which I think is rumored to be the marathon map. But I've also heard that the 3rd map is the marathon, so I'm not too sure about that one. I heard the marathon map is supposed to be crazy though, but we'll talk about that in a later video. But from what I've played so far, I do enjoy the maps actually. I think the first thing that stood out to me was how common you were able to climb and mantle onto the environment to reach higher levels of certain structures and buildings. I was thinking the game was going to be a lot more contained on the ground with like minimal options for flanks or entry points on taller buildings, so it was a nice welcome for sure. I can't say how big the maps are yet though, because I haven't reached every single like point of interest yet, but they all do seem to be about medium sized for sure. But in terms of size, I think I would kind of compare them just a little bit smaller than like a Warzone or Apex map. In terms of presentation though, the interiors do seem a lot more detailed with lighting and shadowing, while the outside environment can look a little bit more washed down and flat at times. But at the same time, like, I feel like there are certain locations outside that feel a lot more completed, and I think the devs are just still working out the shading and lighting and stuff, especially on the exterior of the maps. So in the full release, I guarantee the outside environment is going to look a lot better. The cel shaded look is really growing on me though. I'm finding myself appreciating it a lot more I play for sure, and I think it'll look even better on release. Aim magnetism.
One more game that was, or actually I only have time for one more game. Here, I can do aim assist now, I guess. I just know it's gonna be fucking stupid, so but so far without it, like, I haven't really been having trouble against players for the most part.
Well, as we all expected, the aim magnetism is literally just an aim bot, especially on mouse and keyboard. Who would have guessed?
Alright, I felt that, bro.
There's literally like zero thought to it. You just kind of snap on and get free kills, and I knew it was going to be bad, and I think everyone did too, but like not to this extent, I don't think. I hope they're not even considering just like toning it down or looking for alternatives. They should just have already decided like yesterday that yeah, this shit needs to be removed, because like I'm kind of surprised this wasn't talked about a lot when other content creators were flown out to go play it at Bungie. This is a PvP game at the end of the day, and it just doesn't really belong in this type of environment at all. And later on in my stream, I was huffing a little bit of copium earlier because I was thinking that maybe the tracking was so strong that consequently it kind of fucked up my headshot accuracy a little bit, and therefore it kind of decreased my damage output. But I couldn't tell if that was just me placeboing myself or not.
I can't tell if it's a placebo. Like, even on the bots, like, I don't feel like I'm hitting their, like, killing them fast like I was without it on. It could be a placebo, but I don't really know. Yeah, it's super strong on tracking, but like, I swear it feels like my damage output got lowered because I'm not hitting the head as much because the bullets are just going where they want. That's what it kind of feels like.
I think the best case scenario we have here though is that Bungie just lets the controller players have it and let us mouse and keyboard players write it out, you know, without it, and just, you know, actually improve as players. Also, I'm gonna go ahead and just assume we can just turn off crossplay for release. I'm not sure if we can in the alpha though, but if you can do that, I mean, it kind of fixes having to deal with controller players a bit. It will divide the player base a bit, albeit, but it's whatever. I will be streaming Marathon Monday through Friday starting at 2 p.m. EST. If you want to come drop by and just say what's up, maybe even drop a follow, I would greatly appreciate it. Maybe you like and subscribe here too if you're vibing with the content. Anyway, that's all I got now for you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya. I said see you 3 times. See ya, see ya.
Ah, I got something right. Let's go, 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 let's go.